Yeah, yeah. What's up, man? All right, now. What's happening?
What's going on, guys? Dinner in my trunks. That's right, guys. We're the number one podcast in XTV West Side. Dinner in my trunks. How does it feel, Trunks? Number one.
Something I'm used to.
Got a bit of an ego now, man. You know, more reasons for Trunks to have an ego. No, in all seriousness, I am humbled by this extremely. You know, there's a lot of times within my career where I'm counted out. I'm looked at as, oh, Trunks, a lot of people ain't liking this. A lot of people ain't liking that. But, I always find a way to come back and, prove those people that saying I'm this, I'm that, prove them wrong. I'm Belgian. But, it's little things like that. So I just, I get very surprised by it. When I first did my podcast that I know was going to be big, in XTV East and West, to be honest, I didn't know. It was something I was, me and you was just testing out because, truly what inspired this was Jerry the King Lawler. He has a awesome podcast out there, and, I didn't know he had a podcast. I'm like, oh damn, Jerry Lawler got a podcast. I didn't know, and I seen that he had one. You know what I mean? And I think he was talking about his son on one of the ones I found. Rest in peace to Brian Christopher. He talked about his son and shit like that, and that's what inspired this. And then I just wound up doing it based off of that, and since then I just seriously, just kind of been around the world and talking to these different people at these different autograph functions, and been around people like Jimmy Hart. They've come around, you know what I mean, and they've done what they've done. They've done a real good job up there, and different things like that. And of course, Trunks, you're the king of dings, king of dings and extremes. Big Trunks D-Matic. That's right. So, by the way, announcer dude, you back on the show. I'm back on the show. It's not like I ever left. Exactly, motherfucker. You was fired and you still stayed here, and there was nothing I could do. So, you kind of hired. So, they were just words at the end of the day, because you never really took actions on trying to get me out of here. You want to get fired again? Well, what's going to happen if I get fired again? This time I'm going to really up the ante. I'm going to ask a lot of more people on how to get rid of your ass. Wow. Well, in that case, no. Because those people need to be left alone. Well, then behave. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be an interesting podcast tonight. This morning. What's wrong with me? First, let me talk a little bit about the news, ladies and gentlemen. Oftentimes we talk about my personal life and, different happenings in there. But as far as XTV, we're set to have an East meets West today. We might. This is a rumor. That we might have an East meets West today, which is Friday and Saturday, since we are off both days. You know what I mean? And also, we've been in electronics for like 3 weeks now, a new position. And honestly, y'all, there's a certain culture at this place. Trunks briefly gave you a description on, I believe, Jazz Mall's podcast on how I feel about this Walmart in particular. I just feel like, nobody... A lot of people, I ain't gonna say nobody. A lot of people just aren't straight up. You know what I mean? A lot of people like to gossip and talk about you behind your back. And, when it's all said and done, it's like you'll get called to the office for some shit that's like you've been doing repeatedly. And it be some shit where like, management or somebody that see you doing some type of thing they got an issue with, they could pull you aside and be like, look, man, you know what I mean? We want you to succeed in this field, you know what I'm saying? But, there's a few things that I think you should change, like they don't do that at this Walmart. You know what I'm saying? They wait till enough people talk bad about you behind your back to finally say, okay, you fucking up. Come here. I just don't see how that's going to improve a worker's ability, you know what I'm saying, by talking bad about them behind their back. Like, you're not talking to them personally. They don't know they fucking up. They just doing their thing, thinking they doing right or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? They don't know. This is a whole new position for me, y'all. A whole new one. Like, I've never done this. I've never dealt with the cash register before. Nothing like this. Like, this shit is, and then you gotta keep in mind, it's a new era. This shit touch screen and shit. I don't know what some of this shit is. I know what it is, but it's like, I'm gonna fuck up. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all, it's that going on, and the reason I bring the people talking behind people back is because that's how this always been. When I first started this job, I was a cart pusher, and I thought I was doing a great job. You know what I'm saying? But it was vibes I was getting. It was feelings I was getting. And shit, I wound up getting called to the office. This when I was a cart pusher. I wound up getting called to the office like, oh, you walk off randomly sometimes, and like shit that nobody ever said I was doing. Everybody just didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's just all of a sudden I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? I try not to do that. Like just shit that I didn't know. Like nobody warned me, nobody told me. And that happened a lot of times, y'all. They're like just shit like that. You know what I mean? I get called to the office. It's like last minute when y'all could have just told me don't do this, or I would end up here. What the fuck? And it's the same situation with this. I had to pull my manager aside because they keep on saying I'm doing good. Because you got to keep asking. You got to keep reassuring and shit. You got to be like, am I doing okay? Am I doing okay? And finally, I'm just like, you know what I mean? I kind of just like, because they just keep just saying you're doing good, you good, you good. You know what I mean? Like, no, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, they holding something back. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just like, man, hell nah, because it don't sit right with me. I'm big trunks. I'm a real nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting there like, come on, man, like, quit fucking with me. What? And they just told me everything, and I'm like, thank you. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but my thing is, it shouldn't get to that. Like, it shouldn't get to me. You know what I'm saying? And then they just kind of did a whole spiel, like I need to be focused more. You know what I'm saying? Which is true. I'm easily like distracted by things. You know what I'm saying? And I'm easily like, I do too much. You know what I'm saying? I do way the fuck too much. You know what I mean? And when you like that, like you might not take care of this, you might neglect some things when you're doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're new on a job. And that's just what she let me know. And I took that into consideration. I took it like it was cool. I'm not depressed. I needed that. I want it. You know what I'm saying? Tell me. Like, I want to be the best. I really do. That's why I'm asking, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to improve on? I want to be great. I want to be. I don't conversate as much. That's just me. That's my human error, whatever you consider it. I don't talk a lot. I just don't. I don't talk like everybody else talk. You know what I'm saying? On some days, I don't talk at all because I just don't. Not because I'm depressed or holding something in. I just, sometimes I'm like that. You know what I mean? That's how I grew up. And, but everything else as far as the job and me working, what I got to do? What? You know what I'm saying? Just say it. So, yeah, y'all, I'm sorry I put that out. I talked to the few guys from the East Coast about this. Wasted their damn time, you know what I'm saying? Just like I just did. Hopefully, this doesn't put you guys in a somber note. It's just a bit of what I'm got going on in my personal life. And, it's a lot to deal with. Again, it's a new position. So, we'll see what happens in the next few days or next few weeks with this shit. But like, I just don't. I just never been a type to just like really respect that whole culture of rumors and people talking about people and all this shit. Like I don't respect it. That shit lame to me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because what do you really get out of that? Like what real relationships do you build from that shit? You know what I mean? It's nothing's real. It's all just you talking shit behind somebody back and not being 100 with this person or that person or that person. If you're not real with them, are you real with yourself? It's just a thought, not too deep. But if y'all give me 1 minute, I gotta take care of this piss in my dick. Yes. Also, recently, just a few hours ago, I finally took care of this issue with my school. I have still not gotten my cap and gown for graduation. And, you know, it's been an ongoing confusing issue. So I finally just called them. This shit was crazy. Like, I don't know what it is with voice prompts, but some voice prompts are ridiculous. You know what I mean? I wish there was a way you could immediately press a button and talk to a human. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't trying to be on there's modern technology. But like they give you like 4 departments. It's like, and none of them shits are shits that you want. You know what I'm saying? So you get something that's similar but still way the fuck off. You know what I mean? And you know, you going through this, it's like, I don't want none of these departments in this bitch. I just want to talk to a person. Then you accidentally hit some shit and here come a person with an attitude. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah. But anyway, finally, I was able to talk to somebody. Of course, they was an asshole. Bitch. And, you know, they just told me that apparently I gotta pick up the uniform, the cap and gown, sorry y'all, at the campus. Which I don't feel like doing today because it was a long week thus far, folks, at work. So Tuesday, if I feel like it, I'm definitely gonna go up there, get my cap and gown, you know what I mean? And I will be graduating July 12th, 2019 from Florida Career College, folks. And I'm going to be the first college graduate of my family. You know, thank you. And I think that, you know, just putting everything into perspective and just looking at everything, cause a few of my coworkers, they've actually went to college as well. And a lot of them, folks, have dropped out. You know what I'm saying? A shitload of them. And then, you know, I think about my situation. I'm like, damn, I was able to go through the whole fucking process. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing. And, you know, I had so many times where I was tempted to drop out. As a matter of fact, I could have probably been a valedictorian at my college, you know, if I didn't miss one day. I missed one day, and that was like the week that I was finna leave school. I was just like, I was tired, you know what I mean? And I couldn't make my body do it, but they gave it to somebody that's way well deserving. I'm gonna say your name on this podcast. I don't give a fuck. Shout out to Melvin. He definitely deserves it, man. You know, he's an older guy. Definitely a brother to me, man. You know what I'm saying? And he's definitely deserving of it. You know, like definitely, because he used to take charge in the class. You know what I'm saying? He made me, you know, get my shit together. And we talked the other night, as a matter of fact. So, you know, shouts out to you, Melvin, man. You know, it's a deserving honor. I'd rather him have it than anybody the fuck else. Anybody. You know what I'm saying? I mean that shit. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the ceremony. And that's about it. I don't know if I'm getting my diploma though, because these motherfuckers talking about something. Because it was a person at my job whose daughter went to the school who still hasn't gotten her diploma, folks. She graduated last year. She still ain't got a diploma. Figure that out. Anyway, so that's that. And last night, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if y'all gonna be excited to hear, but I just say it like this, okay? Folks, we did a scene on Miami Beatdown last night, and I just want to say this. What we've been doing so far, not giving shit away, we've been doing a lot of work. You know what I mean? A lot of like cutting shit out. But finally, for the very first time, we did a scene on Miami Beatdown. We did it. It's coming out fucking awesome. And we was on set. We was on set, folks. I was on set. It was awesome. It was a great experience. And you know, we got to go back on set again today, which I am looking forward to, which is one of the reasons I don't want to go nowhere. I want to do this Dinner in My Trunks podcast, eat something, you know what I'm saying, pay a few bills, you know, yada, yada, yada. But this shit was great. Miss Ada Vickers was there, and a special guest, you know what I'm saying, that she interviewed was there at Miami Beatdown on the red carpet. And y'all are in for one of the greatest XTV Westside projects, like one of the greatest. I see this going up there with the Cosby Show too, and with everything that people consider great from XTV Westside's animated output. Y'all will really love this. This was like a lot of fun. We worked on this shit at like, I want to say 12 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? We was just like, yeah, I ain't finna finish a lot, but it's one of them things, man. And I'm sure the East Coast can attest to this. Boy, you having so much fun. You like, damn, I'm only sleeping because I got to. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to go to sleep because you having so much fun, but you know that pressure you get in your brain and shit, and you just get real sleepy, whatever that is. Like, that shit was going on, and I'm like, damn, I gotta go to sleep or I have a seizure or some shit. Yeah. My God, don't want to bottom out like that. No, you don't. So that's the latest news, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully Florida Career College works out. Shout out to Melvin, man. You know, you way deserving. Electronics, don't know what to call right now. You know, it is what it is at this point. I want to put this out though. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody said something interesting. They was just like, you know, going on a rant. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, they was just like, man, if I'm East Coast, like, they was like, man, if I'm, you know, if I'm that bad, if I'm that big of a burden, just turn me loose. Like, the way you said that just made me put it all into perspective. And it's like, it's true. Just get rid of me. I don't give a fuck no more. Like, I got a job. I had a job. I got a job. Jobs are everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So if me being here 4 or 5 years, if me fucking up on my first few months or first few weeks of electronics, if it's that bad, I don't give a fuck at this point. Talk about me behind my back, then get rid of me. Do y'all thing. I'm done, and I tried. And that's it for that segment, ladies and gentlemen. Now, on to the main course. That was just the appetizer. Just an appetizer. Just a little something. Hey, Trunks, I know you said you're done, but I got an appetizer. What your little punk ass appetizer is? The East Coast sort of afraid to watch Your Dinner in My Trunks with 90%, which is understandable. It gets pretty dark. You know, Dinner in My Trunks, as you guys can feel, is a fun-filled adventure of trunkserence, not ignorance, but trunkserence. And you know, it's just a lot of fun. And you know, that was a podcast. It wasn't a downer necessarily, but you know, 90 talking about his early years and, you know, what he went through, and, you know, why he, you know, was who he was, and why he is who he is. You know, it is a pretty dark and tragic tale on how he became that. You know what I mean? The darkness makes him be this bright star that shines in XTV Westside and as well as East Coast. You know, so I think the dark past, you know what I mean? I think that's keeping some people away, but it's still a great story. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's important to be told because a lot of people go through some of those things or went through some of those things, like with his mom and his dad and shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's really inspiring to me, but I can understand why some people would, be taken aback by it. You know what I mean? Because it's some dark elements that, some people are trying to forget and, different things like that. So it's understandable if y'all never watched that. But hopefully y'all watch this. Then in my Trunks podcast. This afternoon's guest this morning, I don't give a fuck the time right now, is an F&K member that was never an official member, but he was there. Travis Johnson is this morning's guest. Good morning, sir. Oh, good morning, man. Hey there, man. So, Travis. We go way back, man, Yeah, 2005, I believe. Yeah. I remember you were with Killer, and, I really looked at you guys as demons. and hey, this is before the drugs. Before I was on drugs, and, my mind was, I just looked at you guys like complete idiotic demons. And why is that? Well, I looked at Killer because Killer was dark, you know what I mean? And I just felt like he was corrupted by negative people and negative environments. Me being a police officer for as long as I was, I kind of knew the deal, move this kid out of this negative environment, show him positivity, and the kid starts shining bright. He stops acting like those forces that, were against him. You know what I'm saying? If you put a freaking, I don't know, baby monkey in a field raised by lions, this is coming across as racist. No. I don't mean it like that. But if you put like a baby monkey, raised by some lions, it's going to eventually act like a lion as it gets older. You know what I mean? But if you take something out its natural environment and it's fresh born and knows nothing, it's just new, it's a newborn, and you put it somewhere, it's going to learn whatever it's taught. And that's just how I felt with Killer. I felt like he was only learning what he was taught. He was only learning what he was around. He was always around you, Trunks. He was always around Best. So he was only acting or portraying things that you guys would do. You know what I mean? So that's why I looked at you guys as, you're corrupting this young kid's mind. What are you doing? And that's why I looked at you guys like that, and that's just how it was with being a police officer. I noticed, during my time on doing that, when I would get rid of the big drug dealer or whoever, was like causing trouble, some of the kids would improve, you know what I mean? And some of them got great jobs to this day. I was recently on Grandpa Joe's Joe Show podcast, and I talked about, when I was rock bottom, and I talked about like one of the kids that I mentored, he remembered me, you know what I'm saying? And that was just always was my mentality, is my mentality, you know what I mean? Get a kid out of a negative environment, but it's definitely changed because you guys, you actually created an outlet for Killer, you created an outlet for Wells and for everybody in a way. Yeah, that's real, man, cause I felt like that's what was missing at the time in XTV, is an outlet for people to really express their true emotions, their true feelings. We get caught up with the way things are supposed to be way too much. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, putting out what just is. What just is just real. And I think that story should be told more instead of what it should be, what you want it to be. It's like what it should be, it just isn't. What it will be hasn't happened yet. But what it is the present. You should talk about what you see in your face. You should talk about, you know what I'm saying, everything that's going on. And it goes back to that 90 podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know 90 for being that. 90 for being honest, and you know what I mean, not holding, not biting his tongue for nobody. Yeah. And you know, that's what F and K was, just that natural outlet. You know, yeah, guys. I mean, go a little bit because I don't think a lot of people know about the early days of F and K. I mean, it gets shitted on a lot, which it deserves. But Trunks, go into that, man. Why do you think it you know, gets negative reviews, and how were those days? Crazy as hell. Oh my gosh. Crazy as hell. This is still post HY, post Hell Yeah. And you know, Hell Yeah was the show, in my opinion, that ended SIDE. It was a show with me and Payne, Diddy Kong. You know what I'm saying? We both did the show. We had special guests. We had segments. And it was just a fun show. And it became the top show for XTV from the year 2000 to like 2004. You know what I'm saying? It was like the flagship show. It had issues towards those last 2 years, 03 and 0, well mainly 03. 04 it started to rejuvenate, and it looked like it was headed into a positive direction. But you know, me not getting along with Payne caused the eventual downfall of the show. And you know, I was just ready for a change. You know what I mean? Something new. And the first two F and Ks was brought upon, and all we really did was cuss. Just like now. Fuck you, bitch. You know, all we really did was curse on that show, and we didn't really know what we wanted to do. You know, I think that when something just becomes the norm, you know what I'm saying? Like F and K, Hell Yeah was. When something just becomes the norm, you just used to that, and you can't change. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to change. But over time, you know what I mean, as you develop, it's like you realize what attributes is going to make this unique. And I think a real life experience made F and K great, you know, and that's when I hyperventilated. Talked about this on my documentary. You know, I hyperventilated in 2005. And you know, I was smoking weed. And, you know, I just started tripping. Kendrick Lamar, legendary rapper. Don't give a fuck what nobody say. I mean, shit, to last this long and still be mentioned in the conversation of the best. Think about it. But, you know, he got a song out there. I think it's Mad City. It's one of those songs where he just talking about, like, you know, when he smoked a blunt and, you know, he started tripping too. It was a similar experience with me. You know what I'm saying? I started seeing colors. I was scared as fuck. You know what I mean? I wound up going to the hospital. And, you know, I was just like, I didn't like the way I was treated by some of the Caucasian folk. You know what I mean? And this was my first time really experiencing racism. You know what I mean? Like, head up. You know, I don't really want to go too deep into it, but it's just the way they treated me and the way they just kind of talked. And, you know, I didn't like that. And, you know, it was really heavy on my mind. So I just started talking about it on the third F and K. And, you know, it's like, it made that shit that much, you know, it started to make it special. And, you know, it's like what you just said, you know, you build up enough anger, you know what I mean, in you. And sometimes that tells the story of what you're going through. Yeah, man. And I just started, you know, seeing injustice type shit. Like, but before this culture, you know, of like, oh, you know what I mean, Trayvon Martin and, you know, all this stuff going on. I'm not going to say I was the first, you know what I'm saying? Because this shit been going the fuck on. It's still going on. It's always, you know what I mean? But I think I just started to really notice it at this portion in my life. You're talking about a teenager, you know what I'm saying, 15, 16 years old. It's like this when I started to notice it. I remember, like, there was this segment on the news. I think it was Action News, ABC Action News, I think it was. And there was a little girl in kindergarten that got arrested because she wouldn't quit crying. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you can still find this story, but I remember saying this shit, and I remember I still got the tape of me talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't believe this shit. Like, you know, and then like they said to at the end of the segment, they said to vote if y'all thought this was right, and you know, vote if y'all thought it was wrong. And I remember like literally like the next week the results came out, and like a lot of people said that shit was right, but only a few people said it was wrong. You know what I mean? And I just remember looking at that shit like it's probably a lot of white people because the little girl was black. So I'm like, you know, cause I don't know, man, like arresting a kid for fucking crying. Exactly. Like kids cry, nigga, dogs bark. You know what I'm saying? Like life is life. And it was like a large ass percentage. Like most people like said, yeah, that was good, you know. And I was starting to see that shit. It was starting to come out. It was like it took that hyperventilation incident, dealing with the people I dealt with, and all these like you know stories of injustices would pop up. And I remember in my personal life, when I would talk about these things that was going on, you know what I'm saying? Aside from the East Coast, people would laugh at me. People in my own community, they'll be like, who you is, Dr. King? Who you is, Malcolm X? You know what I'm saying? They would laugh and shit. But it's like you fast forward now, I guess everybody's a fucking Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think that's what I was talking about earlier, is like people are too busy trying to look like something, you know what I'm saying, instead of just be who they naturally is. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta be an asshole for being honest, oh well, let it be. You know what I'm saying? I'm a proud asshole then for being realer than your ass. Yeah, those early days were crazy, man. I mean, just hearing you get on there and rant, and even Killer, I mean, it's just like, because I remember just listening back and it just sounded like filth flying filth. You know, I'm just like, what are these guys going through? Why are you saying this? I couldn't believe this. I didn't know that these type of thoughts exist in very young minds. You know what I mean? Because shit, when I was a kid and I felt anger, I go out there, get the baseball bat, hit the tree a few times. You know what I mean? That's how I got my anger out. You know, I never expressed it. I never said it like that. But here you guys are up in the ante. You know what I mean? Saying things that I never knew you guys dealt with, you know, and it all comes into perspective when you give your backstory like you just did. Hell yeah, you know. But that's why the early days of FNK was like that. And as far as in hindsight, you know why it sucked? We was whispering. Why were you guys whispering? This is one hell of a story, man. Yeah. We was in a small ass apartment, y'all. Man, this apartment was small as fuck. This was Temple Terrace, Massachusetts. And I remember the whole setup of this apartment. It was like so small. Like it was little. You know what I mean? And my mom's room was like right there, like right across the way, like right across, literally right, like not even 3 steps. You know what I'm saying? And my brother's room was like real close too. So they would be asleep sometimes when we would do F&K. And so it was just like, man, Bess, you shut your punk ass up. It was basically like that, the original Miami Beatdown. Hell yeah. That's exactly what it was like. Us just whispering like, I'm gonna fuck your ass up. Keep playing. Yeah, another kid in the back seat. Keep on playing with me. I'm gonna tear your ass up. Yeah, man. And you know, people were like, Travis, man, those guys are disturbing that kid. You know, go over there. You know, talk to him. And you know, I'm like, if you guys do it one more time, just imagine us doing a whole show like this, folks. Let me tell your ass something, Travis. All right. I gotta get my motherfucking cap and gown from this crazy ass school. I don't know why the hell they don't just deliver it to this address. I'm gonna fuck their ass up. Don't tell nobody. And you guys got caught like a few times during F&K. Too many times. We even got caught at Mania 2005. Speaking of it, I remember Gex was like, sorry. But Gex was like, and she's just it was the Little 007 versus somebody match. I don't even remember who he fought, but he was like, wow, man, that Little 07 is just beating his ass. And then, of course, Sandra Savage comes out, and she goes, she like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And it's just like, because it's East Coast and West Coast trying to whisper and shit, you know what I mean? And then it's like, he's just kicking his ass. He tried to say it low. She's like, I'm gonna beat your ass. And it's the loudest part of the tape. Man, jiggle, jiggle. So yeah, man, and it was a few times on F&K when we would get caught, and we would just be like, I ain't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, that's always hard to, record when somebody else is there. And I think it even passes over now, when, like the guys from the East Coast, when they're trying to work on things, they don't want us in the room. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to get distracted, but from what I understand now, you guys are taking things like Miami Beatdown on the go. You take it at work. You know what I mean? And if I can ask a question, I know I'm the guest. Oh, now go ahead, Travis. I know I'm the guest, but if I can ask the question, how is it, Trunks, since you're behind Miami Beatdown, working on that in front of the public? Crazy as hell. Yeah. It's insane, y'all. Like, I mean, it's bad enough being in customer service, dealing with rude ass customers. You know what I'm saying? Customers that don't know what they want, so they snap at your ass. But you got to be passionate about something. You know what I mean? You got to really believe in it. And if you don't really believe in it, then you shouldn't be doing it in public, especially. I've had people stand over me, look at what I was doing. People don't even know, by the way. Stand over me looking at what I was doing, and I got my music in. I got one ear out just in case somebody say something, but I literally had an older lady like stand over my shoulder watching what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But I always take my mind somewhere else, you know what I'm saying, to not get distracted. Like, if somebody's standing over me, you know what I'm saying, and I see them because like my screen on my HP computer is dimly lit. You know what I'm saying? So you can see their reflection. You can see them looking at you. You know what I mean? That's creepy as hell. It is, But you see them like looking at you working. You know what I'm saying? But I always take my mind somewhere else. You use DMT? Shut up. I take my mind to just like, shit, I'm on a set of a movie and I got an audience watching me work on this movie. You know what I'm saying? That's just how I took the shit. You know what I mean? It don't really bother me. You know what I'm saying? As much because I take myself out of there. Like I said, I got my music going. You know what I'm saying? That's sometimes that shit give me ideas on certain things to do on shit. So yeah, man, that's another reason Miami Beatdown is so fun, because like just taking myself out of here, like, not thinking about where I'm at and just going somewhere else. It's one hell of a process, y'all, and it's something I look forward to finally putting out and hearing y'all feedback on, man. I'm having a lot of fun with this. It's taxing and tedious as some of these things are that I'm going through with it. I would be a lie if I didn't say this wasn't fun. It's cool, man. I'm looking forward to it finally being put out there. We'll be back, y'all. Sorry, y'all. Somebody responded to a damn comment I said way the fuck long ago. But, it's crazy. Because I don't even remember what we was just talking about. I'll probably go back and see. But y'all, again, Trunks is honest. You know what I mean? And I just went in on something, like, because recently, I guess it was a film on Michael Jackson and shit, you know what I'm saying? The Neverland documentary, and like, I ain't watch it, you know what I'm saying? And I put up a post, and it didn't come out of anger. It just came out of like, man, like, I just hate when people just don't think for themselves. I just hate that. I think out of everything in the world, I hate that people don't think. You know what I'm saying? I hate that shit, because it's like you wasting your brain. You know what I'm saying? Just like existing and shit. and hearing what other people say and then regurgitating that shit. It's like, that shit lame to me. You know what I mean? It's like, when something is obvious as it's a dead person, he can't defend himself. So now, since he dead, you coming out and you talking all this shit against him. How is that dead person wrong? Because now a lot of people want to talk shit while he dead. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's lame as fuck. We'll get into that a little later. Fuck y'all, by the way. So, I believe in the middle of me talking that shit that I was just talking, I did remember, but I forgot again. No, I think we were talking about Miami Beatdown, something like that. Yeah, but working on it in the public is cool. Like I said, I take my mind out of it, and I have my own fun. And I don't think this is what I was talking about, Travis. Thank you for trying though. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I think I was done with what I was talking about, actually. So, Travis, man, recently you was on a Joe Show podcast. Awesome experience. Yeah, talk a little bit about that. Man, Grandpa Joe was very catering. You know what I mean? Like, he's like just asking me if I want certain things, and he's one of those older guys that, he's not flashy. He has a lot though. You know what I mean? And he just says, whatever you need is at your disposal. You know what I mean? He takes me to his kitchen. There's yams, there's turkey legs. You know what I mean? He takes me further. He has like 3 kitchens. 3 kitchens. Yeah, and he even has a restaurant in his own house. Grandpa Joe is what is it, suited up? Oh, you mean souped up? Yeah, man. For an older guy, and he has like, okay, again, he has 3 kitchens and a restaurant in his house, and downstairs is a church. Man, yeah, you know what I mean? And he just, because like he is older, and like to access certain things, it gets harder, you know what I mean? It gets harder to walk and all of that. And so, he kind of has things at his disposal. So he, it's just this easy access for everything. And, yeah, he goes in his one kitchen, and like I said, his yams, turkey legs, all kind of things. And then he goes and we go into the next kitchen. It's like burgers and, things like that. And the next kitchen is more veggies and, like he's mostly in there. He's like, you want some taters and some crackers and no, it was like Mado juice and some crackers, but that's pretty much what he eats. But he has like 2 other kitchens for anybody. You know what I mean? He has a lot of bedrooms, and he's just very giving, very sharing. And if you go up a few more steps is where his podcast room is, which is where me, Mary May, and of course Grandpa Joe were when we did, the podcast. So it was very good. I'm just like, I'd rather have a coffee, But later on, in the show, I of course got some cocoa, because I started to cry, things like that. I understand that on that Joe Show episode, your son, you said he got some kind of injury. Yeah, he was playing soccer with his friends. He wound up breaking his leg or breaking his ankle. The doctors were saying he wasn't going to be able to walk again, but I guess I'm blessed that doctor wasn't shit because he's definitely walking today. He's doing great, but it was just like the way he put it. People can really have a way with words that make you think that what they're saying is true. And he just really had that look in his eyes, that devastation look. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't want to tell you guys this, that feeling. And then you love your kids. So it's like, you don't want anything to happen to him, you know what I mean? But he's taking forever to get to the so-called bad news. And, come to find out he was wrong, you know what I mean? I guess he's probably some fresh out of school, old ass fuck tart. And yeah, he didn't know what he was talking about. My son is fine. He's able to walk. You know what I mean? And yeah, that was great, man. I don't think Grandpa Joe want me on his podcast yet. I gotta calm down a bit, man. I gotta watch my cussing. You know what I mean? Get my foot out of the damn, excuse me, Florida Career College ass. You farted in your studio. Grandpa Joe didn't do that. So Travis, you talked a little bit about your drug abuse, yeah, and how bad it got. Now that you're sober, what is it that you do now? Well, I just try to, let people know, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, man. You know what I mean? That darkness doesn't last forever. The darkness doesn't help you see either. You know what I mean? So I just go on, different tours and stuff like that and remain a broke guy that's trying to preach to all the people to not do drugs. Yeah, or you'll do like me once you're finally off of drugs. So, going back to the early days of F&K, I don't feel like we touched on it long enough. Any segments or anything stand out to you? What stands out to me about that is this one time where I really pissed you off. I think I know what this is. And you were like so mad. And you go, "I hate you, Travis." That was like a line quoted for some time on West Side. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if we still have the recording, but it's just like, "I hate you, Travis." And it was like one of those 70s type of, like, the way you said it, And I was Dolomatic at the time, so it just came out natural. You know what I mean? It came out like a old 70s movie and shit. It's like, "I hate you, man." You know what I mean? And damn, I think we still got the shit. Me going, "I hate you, Travis," and it's just like, it's classic. You, Yakub. What you know about that? Oh man, I never heard you laugh that hard, Trunks. Oh man, I know he out there right now, Justin. But yeah, man, the early days were crazy. Some of the involvements that I got in with, Killer and stuff like that. So Travis, Killer in a way ruined your life. No, I ruined my own life. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Killer introduced me to drugs, but like, I could have chose to not do it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of, like, a dude introduced me to my ex-girlfriend. Does that mean that we got to stay with each other forever? No, we don't. You know what I mean? People introduce you to things and people, and it's your choice to take those people or take those problems on. And I did what I did, and as a result, those years I really wasted. A lot of those years are a blur. 07, 06, you know what I mean? I remember 08 because that was the year that I was built to be one of the top stars in XTV West Side. Oh, really? Talk about that. Shit, fuck the early days. Well, they were trying to give me a Grand Theft Auto show. I think Grand Theft Auto 4 was out around this time. And they were trying to give that show to me. Because they were like, "Oh man, this guy looks bummy. He looks dirty." I think it was in Liberty City. Like that's very Travis. And the controls on it weren't the best. At least in my book. I don't know how the Xbox or whatever other versions out there were, but the one we had, maybe it was a bad model. I don't know. It was horrible. I would press X to jump, and like literally, like I want to say 10 or 20 seconds afterwards, the motherfucker would finally jump. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a delay. It was way too real. I would try to go into the car to steal it, but the door would be locked. It was just too much like reality and not a video game to me. You know what I mean? And that's what made it like, okay, Travis, this is not going to be your show. And, I was dealing with a lot of substance abuse, but that show, was designed to make it like, okay, it's Travis's turn, and it didn't work out. And I was even on 90, on a segment, and he was like, because he was promoting my show, but he caught me at a bad time. I got desperate, so I bought a shitload of heroin from an undercover, and I didn't because I knew when you're on drugs as long as I was, you kind of know the routine, you know the deal, you know what I mean, and it's like I knew it was, but I was just so desperate where I'm like, come on, man, give me the fucking drugs. You know what I'm saying? And I did it all fast, snatched it and everything. But it's just the way the guy kind of like, almost like he was talking in his shirt. And I'm just like, shit. You know what I mean? And he's like, hey man, come here, man. You dropped some. And I'm just like kind of walking fast. And at the same time, I'm supposed to meet 90. So then 90 finally gets me. And he's just like, man, what are you doing? Why are all these cops after us? And I'm like, that's me. You know what I mean? Damn, how much time did you do? I did like 3 months. 3 months. You know what I mean? Oh, white privilege. I did 3 months, but jail was nothing new to me. You know what I mean? What was your longest stay back then when you were on drugs like that? I think I did close to a year. Yeah? Yeah, I think what did I do? I did something like really bad. Like I had punched the lady in Walmart, the little people greeter. There was an older lady, you know what I mean? And, she was like super smiley, you know what I mean? She was all like, think you have a good day. Think you have a good day. Think you have a good day, Gums. Think you have a good day. And so, I go up there and I have a shitload of shit in my buggy. I didn't pay for none of it. I'm just in a drug haze and I'm just like, oh, I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that. I don't have enough. So my goal was to, like rush and pull and like push this cart out to outside. Like that was the goal. You know what I mean? Just get all these items in the cart and hurry up and go through the door as fast as I can. You know what I mean? But this is the after Christmas sale at Walmart. What a dumbass idea. What a drug-headed idea. And well, I grabbed it and, just out of, sheer just, I don't know what you call it, stupidity. Like it's just a lot of people in front of me and I'm like, can you move? Can you move? Can you move? And nobody's budging. People are just looking at me like, motherfucker, it's the day after Christmas. What's wrong with you? You know what I mean? So I'm just the only guy. I'm waiting for somebody to like respond to me so I can get into some kind of fight or confrontation, but nobody's like paying attention to, can you move? Can you move? Can you move? And I'm just looking like a jackass, but finally she's like, hi, sir, how's your day? And I'm like, bitch, you took too long. And I headbutt her. Sorry. I'm like, you took too damn long, bitch. And I headbutt her, you know what I'm saying, and elbow her. And they're like, oh my God, this guy's fucking mad. And I try to run really fast to get out the door. And the Walmart thing, do. And I try to rush out there with this cart full of a bunch of shit. And here comes this big ass security guard, you know what I mean? And I get fucking clotheslined. You know what I mean? I guess that was his wife or something. I'm like, you got an old ass wife. And he clotheslined my ass, dude. And I'm like, I'm fucked up. And, he eventually got fired because you're not supposed to put your hands on somebody. You know what I mean? But he winds up dragging me, taking me to the back. And, I messed this lady's nose up. You know what I mean? She couldn't breathe and stuff like that. I don't know how she is now, but shit, when I seen her in court, she seemed fine. But yeah, so I got close to a year for that. Yeah, man. Damn, Travis. Yeah, I became a real dickhead, man. That's great, man. No, it's not. Well, yo, anything else, Travis, you want to talk about?
Nah, man, I'm just looking forward to Miami Beat Down. Looking forward to you guys, putting that out there. I'll be front and center, man. I can't wait for this shit, man. Damn, I'd rather see this than my kid's graduation. That's fucked up. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for checking out another Dinner in My Trunks. This has been fun. Going down memory lane, looking into the future of what's to come. So it's been Dolomatic on Nigga One on the Loose. Superstar. Travis Johnson. We out of here.